Hello and welcome to the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce cable TV show. My name is Donna Framke and I'm delighted to be your host for the Chamber Spotlight March show. Our first guest is Dr. Ivan Martino from Affordable Dentures in Orland Park. Welcome, Dr. Martino. We're glad you're here with us. So tell me a little bit about your practice and what you do.
So for my practice, it's called Affordable Dentures and Implants, and the main thing what we do is we make smiles. So what I mean by that is that a lot of the times patients will need a lot of surgery where we may need to take out all of the teeth on top and bottom, and then we have to replace it somehow. So there's a few different ways on how to do that, and that's what we help educate patients on. So the big thing would be, let's say somebody had to have all of their teeth taken out and you want to put a denture on top and bottom. That's something where it's completely different from natural teeth.
Sure.
And you have to learn, what do I do? So a lot of the times we'll have patients where they'll come, maybe they've had dentures for years and years and years, and they'll tell us that, oh, I never knew to do that with dentures. So a couple of things would be, when you have dentures on top and bottom, on your top and bottom jaw, what will happen is that you can't bite into food.
Sure.
So that's something where even a banana, you won't be able to bite into
Oh,
food.
I didn't realize. Okay.
Because what will happen is the back part of the dentures will flip out and make them feel loose.
Oh.
So even if you have just a top denture, the same thing will apply, where if you try to bite into anything, even a banana, it can flip out and feel loose. So that's why you don't want to do that. Now, the proper way on how to eat with dentures is with 2 pieces of food, one on each side, and chew straight up and down.
Okay.
And that's something that's completely new, because think about how you might chew. You just chew on one side.
Sure.
Now, when you have to have dentures, they're different from what natural teeth are, so that means that you need to treat them differently. So that's something where once you go to dentures for life, and these rules, they apply for the rest of your life.
There's no turning back. Now, what is the difference between implants and dentures?
So the difference between implants and dentures, basically, implants can do a lot of different things. Let's say you had just one tooth that you needed to have out. You can replace that tooth with an implant. Okay. So there's a process where you can take the tooth out, put the implant in right away, let it heal up for a few months. Later, once it's healed up to the bone, then you can go ahead and restore it, and then it acts just like a tooth.
I see.
That's one way on how to do it. So I did bring a model on here. Remember I talked about dentures. The lower denture is actually the most difficult denture to work with because it's loose. The top denture, it has some suction. Here's a model of what they look like. And you can see it covers the roof of the mouth, so you get suction on there. Now the bottom one, you've got a tongue, so that means that you can't do that. So go ahead and take that off for me. That's a lower denture.
So it's
in the mouth. It's very, very loose. If you have it on the table, this is what it's like in your mouth. Now, everybody has different amounts of bone, so if you have less bone, what that means is it's going to move around even further, even easier. So how do you keep that in place? Adhesive. And you have to use adhesive, especially on the lower denture.
Is that a permanent adhesive or something they put in every day?
You have to put it in every day.
I see.
You do, because what will happen is you need to, anything that's liquid like water, tea, soup, that will wash away the adhesive, and then your denture isn't secure anymore. You're going to need to apply it multiple times a day. So what happens is a lot of the dentures, or a lot of the adhesives have zinc in it. And what that means is you don't want to have multiple applications of that adhesive because that's bad for your body. So the adhesive that I recommend is actually called Secure Adhesive, and it's water resistant. So instead of being washed away with water, what will happen is that it resists the water. It stays longer. So that's the one that I always recommend for patients, and they seem
Gotcha.
to like it.
Okay.
Now, the other option is take the whole model this time and go ahead and take the denture off.
Oh,
It's secure this time.
how'd that happen?
Exactly. So on here, this is a model of what an implant-supported denture looks like. We call it the Snap Secure, but this is a way on how to stabilize it and make it so that way it'll stay in place. And you could hear that little
Gotcha.
click. So this is an option. And again, when somebody comes in for a consultation, we'll talk with them about different options. This is an option. So a lot of patients do choose to stabilize the lower, especially because it moves around, and that's the most difficult
Sure.
one. So that's a pretty popular treatment plan where we'll take out the teeth on top and bottom, a denture on top, a regular one, and on the bottom you have support with implants. The recommended number of implants is 4, but the minimum is 2.
Okay.
So the bottom is a little bit different because the bone in the bottom jaw is actually more dense compared to the top. So your minimum for the bottom is 2.
You mean minimum of 2 to hold it in?
Correct.
So you have to have on both sides. or
Exactly,
something.
and
I
you want to
getcha.
have it even because
Sure.
you know
That
you want
makes
to keep
sense.
everything
Yeah,
equal
yeah.
pressure, just like with the food.
Sure.
Yeah. So with the top, let's say we want to stabilize the top, then what's going to happen is that you need 4 implants minimum because the bone is less dense. So why you would stabilize the top? If you want to take out the middle portion of the palate, you can do that with stabilizing the top denture.
Okay.
So the other most important thing is once you stabilize both the top and the bottom denture, now you can bite into food.
I see. So tell me, how does somebody know that it's time to come visit you? I mean, do they start having problems? I'm sure there's a wide array of problems that somebody's having with their teeth, but do they know, like, before they come and see you, I might need dentures,
Sometimes.
I might need implants?
Sometimes. Everybody's a little different because some people, they know they've needed to do this for years and years and they save up.
Okay.
So they do that and then they've saved up a certain amount of money and then they know that, okay, I know that I can stay here. Some people use that and financing and then they'll go ahead and proceed with treatment. Other
see.
people, they may have had consultations at other dental offices and that's when they learn that, okay, I need to do something more extensive or I may need partials, I may need dentures. It kind of depends on what their experience is.
Okay.
A lot of the times, let's say broken teeth, and if you think about it, the front teeth, once the front teeth get damaged, that's when people will say it's time to do something.
It's affecting their smile
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
which of course translates to their confidence and all that type of thing. too, huh?
Definitely.
So what is a typical visit like for somebody who is thinking maybe this is something I need? Do they just call and come in, they see you and you're able to do, I presume, some kind of consultation or something?
So let's say you called tomorrow. Let's say you called and you wanted to be seen for a consultation. We had an opening. Generally, we try to have our consultations in the morning because let's say you want to have same-day service.
Oh.
Then we'll go ahead and do that. So this is something different for us where we will, let's say you have a 7:30 or 8 o'clock appointment for a consultation, and we talk about the different options on what we can do. You know, we've reviewed the dentures, stabilization. Let's say that somebody knows that they want to stabilize the top and bottom denture. What will happen is that we'll take the impressions that morning on top and bottom, and we have a lab on site.
Nice.
So we can make a temporary denture for that patient that day. So we'll take the impressions in the morning. Later that afternoon, usually around 1 or 1:30, we'll take out the teeth and then we'll put in the implants, bone graft, everything else that we need to do, and then
Really?
you'll leave that day with a brand new smile.
No kidding, all in one day.
Yep.
That is phenomenal.
Yep.
Wow, that's really interesting. So tell me a little bit about you, your background, where did you go to school and all that good stuff?
I'm actually from Minnesota.
Are you?
I am,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm used to all the cold, but I don't necessarily like it, but that's okay.
We don't need our.
Exactly, I know. So I did all of my undergrad at the University of Minnesota, and I did psychology, and then I followed right after with dental school, and again, it was all at the University of Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Once I graduated, I decided that it was time to move, so I moved over to Chicago. And originally, I worked over in Quad Cities.
Okay.
And I worked over at I've worked at Affordable Dentures since I graduated.
Oh, is that right?
So this
Okay.
is the only dental career that I've had, so I know pretty much
The ins
a
and outs
lot.
of it, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So we know a lot about partials, dentures, adjustments, everything that you need to do in order to make sure that you have the best chance of success for each case. So I worked there for about a year. Then I worked in Kenosha, and that was my previous clinic before I came over here to Orland Park. In Kenosha, I worked there for about 2.5 years, and I was the practice owner over there. That's where I learned how to place implants and do everything that's related to those services. Then in July, I moved over to Orland Park, and that's when I started to work at this clinic.
Great.
So-
Well, we're so glad you came and joined us today. It really was
Thank you.
interesting. You make it sound relatively simple and easy. So
I try.
if anybody out there is interested, Dr. Martino can give you same-day service. So again, that's affordable dentures and implants in Orland Park. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Our next guest is Colleen Kamin from Porter Place in Tinley Park. Welcome, Colleen.
Thank you very much for having me.
So I know Porter Place is relatively new in town, a couple years I think it's been around.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what you do at Porter Place.
It is a purposefully designed facility for those suffering from memory loss.
Okay.
So different forms of dementia. The fact that it's been purposefully designed just for people with dementia makes it a little bit unique. A lot of communities have independent living, assisted living, and, oh, by the way, memory care.
Kind of like an add-on.
Yes.
So what does that mean, purposefully designed?
That means that the building itself was designed to maximize people's abilities, make them feel successful, make them feel secure, reduce agitation, reduce the feelings of being lost and confused.
I gotcha.
So by not having dead ends, by being able to walk, by having quiet areas where they can stop if they choose to, walking outside into enclosed courtyards, weather permitting.
Sure.
We have to be careful of that. Going out to the putting green during the nice weather that we have. Different stations, both for men and women, different things to do that they can stop at along the way.
I see.
All of those give someone with memory loss and the different dementia disorders a feeling of purpose, a feeling of success, and those are very important.
I understand. Wow. So I've heard it referred to as a resource community, right? Is that what the term you've used before? Resource community? Or?
We'd like to be a resource to the community.
Resource to the community, okay.
We offer support groups for family members, even if they're caring for someone at home and they've not chosen a community for their family member. We also do things like respite care, which can be so valuable. Short-term care, so a caregiver that maybe they're burnt out, maybe they would just like to take a vacation. Unfortunately, maybe they have to go into the hospital and take care of themselves.
Sure.
So we will do short-term care for those people. We have rooms that are already set up for that so that someone can get a break from being a caregiver. That's
Oh, I understand. Oh, that's a nice thing. So how they just pre-arrange this? They contact you guys and say we might have a situation where we need some assistance for a short period of time?
Absolutely, because there are some requirements that we have to meet prior to, physician certifications and, making sure that someone is healthy to be in our community because they're going to be around our other folks there.
Gotcha, okay. So I believe you were telling me at one point you've done like virtual tours and that type of thing? So
that's correct.
How does that work and how does that turn out for a resource for prospective clients and caregivers?
A virtual dementia tour is actually a technological device that gives you the feeling of what it's like to have dementia, can make people more empathetic to what people are dealing with, make you understand what maybe your loved one is going through. It can be frustrating for families.
I'm sure.
And so I think that having that information about what they're feeling and what they're going through can be so important for them. We use a lot of technology at Porter Place to enhance life. We don't use typical call lights for assistance. We have a process that involves motion detectors and sensors. So if we know somebody sleeps through the night all the time, their sensors are set, and if they get up during the night, the staff is immediately alerted on an iPod that they carry with them.
Wow.
If somebody falls and it detects all 4 limbs on the floor, it alerts at a higher frequency of urgency.
Okay.
So we're not relying on somebody having to call for help or, you know, be able to put together that they need to get up and maybe use the restroom. As soon as their feet hit the floor, we're there to assist them.
Gotcha. Okay. You know, what other ways do they use technology in it?
We use technology in our activity programming quite a bit.
Really?
Life engagement is a huge part of what we do. It's not just feeding people and giving them their medicine. There's more to life than that. So it's about quality of life. So our life engagement uses a process of large screens with maybe old movies on it, old game shows that they can relate to, trivia shows, so that it's very much designed for the people that live there. Or individualized headphone sets with their favorite music on it. So we use...
Gotcha. That's really neat. Now, how large is the facility? How many?
We are able to house 82 people.
Okay.
We have 68 rooms. So some of them are double rooms, so we have married couples, we have companion suites, we have a variety of living arrangements, which is, you know, can also fit different budgets too.
Gotcha. So tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get into this line of work, and what were you doing before you came to Porter Place?
I actually started out as a volunteer in 8th grade in a nursing home.
Is that right?
I did.
Wow, I kind of selected your career that early on and didn't even know it probably, huh?
Found my passion, yes. I've been very fortunate. I actually had my degree in therapeutic recreation, so I started out as an activity therapist.
Is that right?
And became an administrator, and I've been a licensed nursing home administrator as well as a certified dementia practitioner. So I get to combine the best of both worlds at Porter Place, doing the dementia care as well as, you know, the regulatory things that go along with it.
Sure. So where were you before you came here?
I was at a skilled nursing home for 2 years, and prior to that for 7 years, I oversaw actually 3 dementia facilities in Wisconsin and Illinois.
Wow, that sounds like a big job.
So, yeah.
Have you been from around the area before? Or is
I am from the area,
Are
yes,
you?
yes.
Okay, so you're kind of like coming back home almost, huh?
It is, and I live in the area, so it's been perfect.
Wow. Well, I know a lot of people, it's a beautiful building that you have there, and a lot of people ride by and probably don't know quite that much about it, so it's really been interesting hearing some more about it. So.
Well, and it was built rather than across Harlem where it would be very obvious. It was built so that it's just a small end of it is on Harlem. And that was actually intentional so that, you know, residents weren't being bothered by noise and things like that either. So there a lot went into the design of it.
It really is a very beautiful building and very nicely located and everything. So.
And it's even better with the good care that we give inside.
No doubt. I am certain. Is there anything else as we wrap up that you'd like to share about the facility or any information for our viewers or to the community?
Yes. Again, we do community support groups. We also have a conference room that's available if anybody, actually one of the local condo associations uses it for their group meetings.
How large is that?
It would probably hold about 50 people.
Oh, that's good
so
size.
It's a good size. It's our training room that we use for our staff training, which is one of the things that impressed me probably the most besides the technology and the beautiful building is the amount of training that we put staff through before they're allowed to ever work with our folks.
Really?
Oh,
yes,
yes,
huh?
yes.
And then continuous, I presume, as well?
Monthly,
So if you got
every
that kind
month,
of room?
yes, yes.
Wow.
So
Well, it certainly sounds like your clients get a lot of great care there.
They do.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And again,
Thank you.
Colleen Kamin from Porter Place Memory Care. Thank you. Our final guest today is Sue Vazquez from Little Joe's Pizza.
Hi.
Pizza and restaurant, I think. I'm not sure. I always just call it Little Joe's. What is the right name? Is it Little Joe's Pizza? Little Joe's Restaurant?
Well, whatever you want to call it. Little Joe's.
Little Joe's.
Yes, yes. I just like people to know that we're more than pizza. Some people think that it's just a pizza place, and we have steaks and seafoods and a really full menu, sandwiches, lots of options.
Great,
Yes.
great. So how long have you been in Tinley Park?
Tinley Park, I think this year's 27 years.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow, I had no idea it's been that long.
Flies by. Yeah, 27 years.
And you have other locations as well?
Yes, we do. We have Frankfurt location on LaGrange Road, about 208th, in a strip mall as well, like Tinley, and then also New Lenox
Very
on
nice.
Cedar Road. So it keeps us busy.
No doubt, no doubt. Making a lot of great food, I'm sure. So where did it all start? How did it all begin?
Oh, Donna, well, we only have a little bit of time. So actually, my father had a dream, and my godfather opened the restaurant, Little Joe's, on 63rd Street
Was
in
his
the
name
city.
Joe?
His name was Joe.
Yeah,
My mom
okay.
came up with the name. So they wanted to know what should they name it, and so they said Little Joe. Joe was little, and yeah, so he was my godfather. And they actually opened the day I was born.
Is that
the grand
right?
opening, yeah.
Wow.
So I guess it was fate. Here I am, still today, but. Yeah, my crazy husband, I shouldn't say crazy, I'm sorry, on TV, but endearingly, loved to open restaurants. I met him on 63rd Street, and he was running the kitchen and make food
Gotcha.
with little hearts made of cheese or radishes or whatever. And
Oh,
So-
that's how he won your heart,
that's
huh?
how he won my heart. pretty
The
much.
original location was 63rd and...
Richmond in the
Okay.
city. Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's very exciting. So what you talked about the menu. Tell me a little bit more about what, besides pizza, what kind of things you do have. What's the
Oh,
typical
well.
customer going to find when they walk in there?
Oh, some people like get pizzas just for appetizers even. We have various sizes that they can do. But we do
Thin
have
crust, thick crust?
thin, yes, we have thin. We have deep dish. We have stuffed. We have a calzone, which is like the ingredients I can then fold it over inside a pie kind
there
of
you go.
the dough. And then what else do we have? We have gluten-free pizza.
Do
as
you?
Well, which
that's so popular nowadays.
it is. And the reason, I didn't know 9 years ago. Oh, actually, in March, this March is 10 years, gluten-free, although I do cheese.
You
but
have been
yes,
gluten-free?
and that's kind of, my son had some severe eczema that he had to work his way through, and that was one of the things they said, to go gluten-free, and it could help. So he was very frustrated because we at home didn't shop that way or cook that way, and neither did the restaurant. And so I told him, in a family of 5, I said, you know what, I'll do it with you. And I said, but what the heck is gluten? I don't even know anything about it. And it changed my life. People said, you lost so much weight, and it was just inflammation.
Really?
And so, yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know. You think we're always learning, right? So
Absolutely.
I just think that was real important, because then when we go in a restaurant, we'd like to go out to eat and do comparisons, or just out to eat.
All in the
out
name of
our-
research,
yes, in the name of research. And I said, my gosh, nobody has anything gluten-free, and we need to do that. Let's have other people have choices as well. So with a little fight for my husband, because he doesn't have to do that, and I said, that's okay, we're going to do it anyway. And we searched, got a really good brown rice pasta, and so our marinara is gluten-free. You can have olive oil and garlic. There's options. There's more options now, and I keep wanting to expand on that as well.
Wow.
At all our locations. But in our Frankfurt store, we are trying to get it to Tinley and New Lenox, but it just flies off the shelf. Our one gluten-free pizza that we make is an almond crust. So it's almonds from California.
Okay.
And 6 ingredients, and we hand make it, and we just can't keep it on the shelf very long. It's gone every week.
Wow.
So that's
So
what we
almond
do.
flour, it's made. That's
Yes.
the base of it, huh?
Yeah,
What else
so
is in it?
it's- I can't tell you
Oh,
all
she's a
that. but
secret, huh?
No dairy, no sugar, no gluten, no grains. And the paleos love it. People,
So paleo-friendly, gluten-free. It sounds like you got a little something for everybody there, huh?
Yep. And then we have the dairy-free cheese as well. So if people want to do that that's at all locations. Normally we have that. Sometimes we run out of things, but we really try to have that on hand. So.
Okay. So how many employees do you have at the Tinley location?
Oh gosh, I'm not the numbers person. We have about 110, maybe all together through all 3 places. But,
Okay.
all part-time, and it's kind of hard to run a restaurant without our team, and we have a good team, and so we appreciate our employees and our customers too, because we can't do it without either of them. So
I
we
gotcha.
want- and then one thing I want to say is we've been 60 years in business now, going on 61 this year,
Wow.
which is beautiful. But thank the good Lord, because there's days I just shake my head and say, "Wow, how did we get through this day?" But we do, and but we're not perfect. I wish I could say we're perfect after all these years, but we're all people, and we're just doing the best we can. So, to all our listeners out there, if something ever goes wrong, please let us know. I would love to fix whatever. I mean, every now and then something goofs up. It's inevitable. So just like when we go to other restaurants, they forget the fries or they forget this. I mean, we're just humans, and some things goof up. So
Well,
we'll try and fix whatever we can, though, for you.
It sounds like you have great customer service just with your attitude right there, though. So
wow.
I'm sure people appreciate that. We all know we're human. But.
Yeah, we hope so.
So who is your typical customer? Anybody and everybody?
All ages, yeah. And I love when the families come in with children, and then some of them say it's their birthday, and the children say they want to go to Little Joe's, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. So, it's just whoever. We're a family restaurant, always been, and we love to.
Do you run any kind of specials or anything?
Oh,
Are there
great
certain days of the
question.
week that you
Yes.
do things, or?
Yes, in our Tinley store, Monday is 30% off pizzas, dine-in.
That's a nice
yeah,
offer.
right. And it's better than some of the people's 50% off because we have good prices. So, check us out. We have Tuesdays, our 2-for-1 pasta.
Okay.
Wednesday is, there's something. Gosh, I should
Doesn't
have been
have to be a
that's
test.
all right. Yeah, you check us out. You'll find it. And then we have really good, so we have full bars at all locations. If you'd like to indulge in a little cocktail, we have half-price margaritas on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just different days. Each restaurant's different, so just check us out. And
With their specials?
we have a
each one's
website
bit
too,
different?
and different specials, and
Gotcha.
always something going on.
So do you anticipate any changes or any things in the future that you're talking about putting into your business plan? Or
Yeah,
no?
we'd love to do a facelift for Tinley. It's needs a little more tender loving care. We've been there a long time, so we had first that little room when you come in, and then we opened the next room, and then we opened the next one. So we were going to go 4, and then we thought, no, we stopped there, and then then we went to New Lenox. But we'd like to give it a little facelift. We're working on that. And the menu, we just want to keep adding healthier options. So
Okay.
if anybody has an idea or wants something special, you can always call and ask for Sue. Leave me your number. I'll ask. I'm glad to. That to me is a passion. We have only one life, and it's not a dress rehearsal. So I'd love to help out wherever I can, wherever they're going out, and if I can help anyone, I'm glad to do that. So and we have a Facebook page too.
Do you? So somebody could contact you via the Facebook
Yep,
page
yep.
and suggest a menu item or something?
Yeah,
or a
absolutely,
type of thing that they
absolutely.
need?
I'd like
That's
to do
great.
that.
That's great. Well, as we wrap up, would you like to share anything else with our viewers?
Wow, that went fast. Just come out and check us out. A lot of people that are coming into Tinley, they say they've never knew we were there because we're right in the strip mall at 80th Avenue and 167. So, it's kind of a hidden gem, and it looks small, and we're bigger than it looks. So just come out and visit us, and we're glad to help, and let us know what we can do to make anything better for you, because we're always striving for our customers and our employees to help.
I have had pizza myself, and I know it's wonderful.
Oh,
So
well,
I'm
thank
so
you.
glad that you're here and we're able to share that with us. So again,
Thank you so
Little
much.
Joe's, if you ever have any suggestions for meals, Sue is here to to take your requests. So thank you so much for joining us. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No, thanks for letting me come on. Appreciate it.
Great. And if you'd like to contact any of our guests, or if you have any information, please contact the Chamber's website at tinleyparkchamber.org, or contact them via phone at 708-532-5700. Thank you for being with us for the Chamber Spotlight Special. We'll see you next month.